Banter fam, what's happening, guys? Hope you're having a great weekend. So I want to bring you a quick show and a quick market update, just to get ready for weekly close, okay, and to get ready for good altcoin entries. We have a slight pullback in the market at the moment, but it's been a great week. We had Bitcoin break all-time highs, and we are getting near a altcoin catch-up, right? You look here on the Bitcoin itself, that is a good break so far, right? Now, I do want to speak about any rejections here, and obviously the big targets of $130,000 to $140,000 next. Okay, and speak about where is the best time to buy altcoins, right? Obviously, right now you got a couple of good trade setups and a good short time frames, but where are we with altcoins on the higher time frame? Are we actually in this phase over here where we just popped through our first little higher high, and this is a vital dip over here to be buying? Right? Very much so, because if Bitcoin decides to start at any point to go parabolic, altcoins are going to join the party. And we also know Bitcoin dominance is slowly starting to give us one or two red candles here. And at any point, we can have the cliffhanger drop here and start alt season. So, guys, I wanted to bring you a quick Sunday show. Get ready for the market close, because I do think the market can actually pump into the close, right? And I think that's one thing we have to get ready for now. So you know that you have short-term pullbacks, but these closes are very important. And the main thing that I want to see from Bitcoin is I want to see the highest weekly close we have ever seen, right? Before this, the highest weekly close we have ever seen is $104,000. Bitcoin must hold that into weekly close. If so, it's the highest close we've ever had on Bitcoin, and next week candle can be a very strong green one. So guys, no more wasting time. Let's have a good show.
I try and help everyone in my space, and this is what I get. I try and fight the devils, but inside I'm just like Sniper. Welcome to Sheldon Show.
Fam, Brandon's channel, hit the subscribe button. Hope you're all having a great week so far. So guys, let's get quite into it pretty quickly. So the first thing, again, guys, make sure you subscribe to this channel, the Crypto Live channel. We are going to start moving some hosts around off of the main channel, and a lot of hosts are going to kind of be set, less hosts on a single channel, and that's why we're busy building this channel up. I might be here permanent in the future. So guys, subscribe up here. Again, any channels you're part of the Banters to bring you value all over, and this is going to be a great one. So subscribe over there, like up the video, and let's jump straight into it. So guys, the important thing here is obviously weekly close. Okay, all-time high close. We want the highest close we've ever seen. It'll give us a good understanding that next week we can get a little bit of hype. Because the problem that we're seeing now is we are starting to pause here. It's time to get some room, right? But it starts off with getting through the wall. And I think that's the big thing here is we broke the big wall. We broke the all-time high of $109,000, nearly $110,000. But we didn't smash through it, right? We didn't just go parabolic. So what that means right now is we're still playing in this area of, is this a real breakout or not? And that's going to come down to a very important weekly close. So you could see here, this is where we've closed previously. And you can see previous times that we actually close outside of all-time highs. We actually go into the parabolic stage. And that's what we're waiting for. We're waiting for Bitcoin now to really start ramping up and start making its way to the higher time frames, right? But it starts with this important zone. So into weekly close, expect volatility now this Sunday, okay? And very much over here. And the goal here is for us to actually not worry about too many gains. It's more about us holding support. Therefore, I think next week will bring a lot of hype if we hold these levels. So the key level here to close outside of is the $104,000 to $105,000 zone. If so, it is the highest Bitcoin close we have ever seen, right? This is not going to be nothing. Then we're going to start getting comfortable, and people are going to stop maybe worrying about if this is real or not, and the confidence is going to start to come through. And when the confidence starts to come through, you start to see a one-directional wave. You start to see one team that really starts outperforming the other team in a very fast and strong pace. And that's the next thing. So again, that's the important zone. If by any chance we start closing below here, we will talk about a pullback. And this could go into the 90s, right? Now, again, this will only but open up way more investment opportunities again. We know the market's slowly starting to make its way up. So it won't be devastating, but it will be something for us to pay attention to and to play a bit of downside, get a little bit of the defense going up and protect ourselves. For now, we have to go with plan A. Plan A is bull, right? Bull and strong. And again, at any point now, I do think we are going to start speeding up. However, I don't think it's going to last that long. This is what I mean. I think we're going to speed up in the next week or two now and get going with Bitcoin. Then I do think there will be a cool down. Then I do think we will continue. right? So the goal is to get good entries here, get that gap from the rest of the markets, then allow to play games, and we can then obviously start getting ready for, the $180,000 to $200,000 zone. That is kind of my targets for the cycle. Maybe 220, 230, a little bit overextended. But then I do think we're going to have a relaxed zone. And I think Bitcoin's going to make its way to $1 million over the next couple of years, but not in a straight line, in this strong way that it's been doing it. Right? We make some ground, we chill for a couple of months. We make some ground, we chill for a couple of months. I expect that to be continuing. Altcoins, guys, should start waking up at any point. Altcoins are basically just still fighting the same resistance that Bitcoin fought. And I'll clear this up over here. You see on the weekly, you got this key level here. We sat here for 2 weeks with Bitcoin, and we're at that same level now. And it's basically the previous low that was the support, right? It was the support of when we were looking strong. And when we lost that, we went into some terrible territory for the last, couple of weeks. And altcoins are there. Altcoins are basically at the exact same low over here. Okay, and you could see directly once Bitcoin broke through that low, what happened, right? Bitcoin went back to the all-time highs. That's the same thing over here, right? Is after this gap on altcoins on the weekly, you have the all-time high push over here, and altcoins then can start getting ready to go parabolic, right? Which means that the buying time for you to accumulate altcoins is definitely on this side, right? Because once we go into this territory, you could see how fast Bitcoin started to wake up, and that's very much what altcoins will do as well. They'll start speeding up very quickly. So as it stands right now, any of these rejection and pullbacks into these zones is definitely accumulating zones for altcoins for the higher time frame move, right? And the big push. And again, the same thing here. I think when Bitcoin really starts getting moving, I think alts are going to make its way to the all-time high territory. Then there'll be a trap, and then I think altcoins will go parabolic. So I do see this as being one of the best investment opportunities on altcoins right now. And again, Bitcoin dominance is just hovering up there. I want to see the close, because if we zoom in here, on the dominance, we did start losing some trends, right? And it would be nice to see what happens a little bit later today, but we lost this big trend here, and we're still sitting on the other side. So we're just waiting for that cliffhanger at any point, and it's very likely when Bitcoin is, back into the major areas. Again, your ETH, your Dojas, your Solanas, all of these are looking really good on high time frames for investments. Okay, now let's jump into the shorter time frame. This is where I see bounce zones for today. I'm going to speak about two scenarios. The first one is Bitcoin's going to bounce pretty soon. Right, Bitcoin's going to start getting ready to bounce, and the bounce zone is basically here between this 106 and 108, and reason being is because it's just basically hovering here, playing a little bit of the market's mindset. But if you look at this, we pumped a certain amount, right? And if we look at the pullback, if we hold anywhere between the 50 and 60% of that pullback, we're very much bullish for another push, right? Plus, we have a lot of support now. Bitcoin breaking all-time high is not nothing. So that means that the area that it broke on all-time high is very much over here, and it's basically the previous all-time high is now support, right? So this is where I want to see. So first scenario is market chills here. I'd say in the next 3 or 4 hours, we start bouncing pretty hard, and Bitcoin actually starts pushing up very much, maybe to the 109, 110. Again, anything over the 105,000 weekly close is very bullish. But I expect here, let's actually zoom in here and just show you a little bit more shorter time frame. You can see what I'm doing here is I'm basically tracking this down with a trend line, okay? And when that trend line breaks, I think Bitcoin's going to go for it. The bears are attempting here, and I know why. There's a guy sitting with $1.2 billion long, okay? And his entry is here somewhere. So they're playing with him a little bit, and that might even open us up to a shake, okay? But I think they want to wipe that guy. I think there's a lot of money there that can be taken free from the market, but there's a crazy long on Bitcoin that's happening at this point. But if you look at this over here, this trend, I'm expecting at any point now cool down, and after the trend start popping. So I think there's a lot of good altcoin opportunities, because I do think, again, altcoins will start distributing pretty quick. We have this chart here that's creating a little bit of urgency just to say, hey, we do need to have a bounce pretty soon. It's the USDT dominance chart. I don't want to see this breaking up too much over here, because that means a little bit of a deeper pullback. So we'll know by tomorrow, okay? But what I am doing is I'm still making sure I have some good altcoin entries. I still think the bull scenario is in play, okay? And you can see here on a bunch of altcoins, they're sitting at the big 618 zone. So ETH is in a good short-term buy zone now, right? And if you look at this over here, pop in a trend line, there's the trend for the breakout too. Two bounce zones. There's 2,500 basically, and the 2,400 if we decide to dip off. Again, shake that guy with the big ass long on Bitcoin. right? If you look at a bunch of altcoins, I'm still long on Solana, and I'm building even more Solana over here. It's support. Guys, if we do lose this, there is a deeper pullback incoming, right? But again, I need to buy supports here and put stops in, because if it bounces here, we got the best damn entries. If it goes into this play, I must stop out with a bunch of cash and buy cheaper. But as it stands right now, I know where to put my stop losses. I can put stops in this place over here. Okay, and I can just protect myself and fight for these entries in these zones. The market always goes into these fighting territories before it goes parabolic, right? It makes it a bit tough before it goes up. Here is again 𝗧 and your 𝗏𝗏𝗄s and all of these tokens, and I just want to show you here again. They all have a lot of support in these zones. All of these highs over here, big support zones, big zones over here to load up on these tokens. Look at things like 𝗧's got this support and the support all hovering over here too, right? So 𝗧 is also looking amazing. We've got ALGO. ALGO is losing a little bit of a short-term trend, okay, but we've got to pay attention to the horizontals as well. And you can see there is a lot of support. And why am I saying these supports are big? Because I want you to realize is this is still bullish, right? Even if it's pulling back, like it's still, that's what it looks like. Okay, even if we dip another 5%, right? It is showing you we are still very much in bull territory, and the altcoins are the next big ones to catch up. AVAX in good zones, Chainlink in good zones, Sonic in crazy zones, good long-term goals, long-term buy zones. We have 𝗬𝗟𝗍 over here, right? 𝗬𝗟𝗍 I think might come down a bit lower. It had a little bit of a hack, but I think these are all good buying opportunities, right? If it comes anywhere near this low $3, $3.4 type of area, I think it's really good longer term spot buys within the market. So guys, just wanted to quickly update. Let's zoom in here. Let's go through the two scenarios again. Let's go here. Okay, so again, the first one on Bitcoin is the bull one. We're not bearish much longer. Market goes, and I'm playing into this one, right? From here, we start popping through into weekly close. Okay, this is a 1 hour chart. Bearish scenario is we actually lose and we start dipping down. Then I think Bitcoin's going down to the low hundreds, and then I think a solid bounce is incoming. So keep that in mind, right? And obviously, boringness is we just sit flat here as long as we close that 105,000 weekly close, things are going to look good. Altcoins, not much further down. If there is a bit more of a pullback, I see it maybe being another 3, 4, 5%. I think at any point, market's going to start ripping. So again, I have all my entries in. I'm in Sol, ETH, Doge, AVAX, Cardano. I'm actually going to buy a tiny bit more Cardano while we are here right now. Let's see if I got. Oh, I'm out of Mullah. No more cash. My cash is in and done and finished. Okay, amazing, guys. Have a great rest of your weekend. We'll be back firing with all the shows tomorrow. Remember to be, if you're not a part of a community, join Sniper Club. Sniper Club's going to pump this week hard. We've got an indicator launching. We've got a lot of things happening. Make sure you're there. Make sure you're signing up for my new school that's coming up in the next 3 to 4 weeks. Sign up now. There is going to be a waiting list. Get into there as well. And guys, remember a couple other things as well. Use the new Banter Bubbles app. Right, Banter Bubbles is pumping right now. If you click on anything, it has the top news events that's coming out very quickly on what's happening. So if you see any big token moving, you can understand why, what's happening. And what's amazing is the news is starting to come out a little bit before the market's actually moving. And then the last thing, guys, we also have a daily newsletter. Right, so in the description, if you like the type form and you want to see a lot of charts and stuff, you get that. You can subscribe to that. It costs you absolutely nothing. Guys, have a fantastic rest of your Sunday. Love you lots. Remember to subscribe to this channel. So if I ever get kicked off of the Banter main channel, you can find me here. Love you lots. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.